Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is now Thursday. Time really flies really fast. It's already the fourth day of Malaysia Blockchain Week, and we are going to start immediately. I apologize for the 10-minute delay before this. So, very quickly, what is Malaysia Blockchain Week? So, Malaysia Blockchain Week is week number 1 of Malaysia Blockchain Month, an entire month of curated education content every single day, 5 p.m., 1 hour session on the weekdays. On week number 2, we're going to cover about DeFi. On week number 3, NFTs. On week number 4, enterprise solutions. Week number 5, we're going to have a lot of developer bootcamps, and we're going to end Malaysia Blockchain Month with a 2-day conference called Ignite. Now, why are we doing this? Well, this event is brought to you by Access Blockchain Association of Malaysia, along with its many media partners. Um, in order to grow the industry, we need to uh, we need to defomo the industry. And the way that we can do that is by educating and helping people to learn about what are the opportunities, in the industry, and how to adopt, how to experience, how to enjoy the technologies available. And how quick an industry are we talking about? Well, if you visit this website called CoinGecko, which is a data aggregator website that summarizes the entire market for us in real time by collecting data all over the interwebs, you will find that digital assets, they exist on the internet, they live on the internet, and they are secured by these decentralized networks called blockchains. And if you add them all up, last year, they were worth $250 billion. It then January this year, it grew to $1 trillion for the first time in the industry's history globally. Okay, and this has never happened before. Took 12 years to arrive here, and now we are just 8 months into 2021, and we've already gone to 2 trillion. So the question is, okay, we understand that this very fast-growing industry, how much can we capture it as a nation, as a region, Southeast Asia? So that is the reason why we're here. As a matter of fact, the website that we just showed you just now fun fact, is built by Malaysian founders. So CoinGecko is one of those homegrown uh, success stories, of building into the space, getting international reputation, and putting Malaysia on the map. Uh, CoinGecko is not the only one. We also have Etherscan, who is also one of the most reputable companies, known in the world in the digital, in the cryptocurrency blockchain space, for their blockchain explorers. Very great team. But is that enough? Is that enough? For the topic that we want to talk about today, that is how to make Malaysia a blockchain hub, right? So we're going to go into it, and today we have two panelists who are industry change makers themselves. They are Harpreet Singh from Blocklime and Ibrahim Majid from IIB Ventures. Harpreet, Ibrahim, thank you for joining us. Welcome. You need to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for this opportunity to share what's happening in Malaysia, what's the effort that is being taken up to help position Malaysia as a location for blockchain.
Okay,
Yeah,
Harpreet.
thank you as well, Jason, for actually hosting this, and also being the core, basically the person responsible for making Malaysian Blockchain Month successful. I think kudos for whatever you have done so far. Would definitely won't be possible without you. So
High
just
praise.
some kind words to begin with for you today, man.
Thank you. All right, so let's get started. Okay, let's start easy. All right, what is a blockchain hub? In both your opinion, can we define what makes a blockchain hub a blockchain hub? Harpreet, why don't you go first? What is a blockchain hub?
So in my perspective, coming what I believe a blockchain hub is and should be, uh, I'm looking towards a kind of an ecosystem, a kind of a location where actually you can see it which is like more fitted or more suitable towards innovation, right? When you talk about blockchain hub, you're looking definitely towards blockchain technology, but generally a kind of an ecosystem which kind of supports innovation, and it kind of like has the right conditions to like spur more ideas, more innovation, more startups to actually grow in that ecosystem, right? So when you say a blockchain hub, immediately people think of a location, right? I don't what they call bear the same view. I'm thinking of an ecosystem where you have enough amount of technological expert people, you have enough amount of educators, you have enough amount of policymakers who are like educated about that topic, right? And the whole ecosystem functions like it by itself, and it's conducive towards pushing for new ideas that actually solve problems, right? That's what is a view of a blockchain hub in my perspective. I would like to
Okay.
hear from Ibrahim, since he's already running a blockchain village, right? So I think he will actually give out a different opinion over there.
Okay, Ibrahim, what is a blockchain hub?
Okay. Based on my opinion, blockchain
Mm.
hub is like what Harpreet mentioned. Is not a physical location. What most important for a location to be a blockchain hub is the environment that helps to support the development of the technology. So there's many components to that in terms of how you get what is required to create a hub. There's a soft component, there's a hard component as well. Obviously, you cannot disregard the fact that you need to have a hard component, which is the infrastructure, but most importantly is about the soft component. Soft components can cover talent. You need to have ample talent. You need to have strong industry players. You need to have strong champions that will promote the development of the technology, in particular new technology, so-called like blockchain in Malaysia.
Ah,
You need people who will champion it, who promote it, like what you guys are doing today, Jason. This is one of the initiatives that is required to actually make a hub happen. Yeah.
okay.
So there's many components to it, but overall is the right environment that help to actually develop the industry, in this case blockchain.
Okay. All right. So it's very interesting. So it looks like we have a lot to cover. Okay. My definition of a hub, right? Okay, is basically a place of a center of attraction. Why is it called a hub? Is because it attracts people, right? So, um, from a from a rating of 0 to 10, 0 being very very unattractive, 10 very attractive. How would you both rank Malaysia right now? Okay, in terms of its attractiveness to attract to be a blockchain hub from 0 to 10. Ibrahim,
If I may
Ibrahim
go
first.
first, yes. Yeah.
Ibrahim.
I, you just started the session by showcasing CoinGecko, right?
Yes.
That is already a sign that we are on the way towards number 10. Yeah, but if we were to rate ourselves today, I would say we are at number 6.
Number
Having
6.
said that, what
Okay.
6? Because I feel there's a lot of opportunity out there that we can grab. We have not even done enough in order to what do you call that? Exercise all the options that we have. We have not really done enough work in promoting, in developing. We are just starting,
Mm.
because
Okay.
I wouldn't say we are below 5, because we have prominent company like CoinGecko that shows that we are at least above 5. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Harpreet, what about you?
I'll position ourselves a bit higher than what Ibrahim thinks. In terms of
Really?
attractiveness, actually,
Wow.
like it
I
comes
was
to which,
okay, okay. I was thinking like it's number 6 is like wow, very high.
to be honest, it's
You're selling a shot now, Jason.
I feel that we're still very early in this, and then Harpreet now you say it's like higher than 6. Okay, I want to listen to this.
honestly because this comes to a game of perspective, right? So I had a different perspective about Malaysia, about our ecosystem, right? I did explore. I went out. I trained in multiple countries. I spoke in so many different countries, and most of the major blockchain ecosystems, I actually went down and explore, see their crypto communities. I made friends there, and I actually kept in touch with them. and see what is like good in their ecosystem. I did exploration all around, right? I've been in States, I've been in Japan, like explored the Japan ecosystem. I've been in Hong Kong, I've been in Singapore, I've been in Australia, I've been in India, Vietnam, and many other countries, right? I've explored most of these ecosystems, and I've seen like what is like the good, uh, like a good and like the negative side of these ecosystems. And I noticed actually Malaysia is a very good ecosystem, to be honest, right? So if you see there are certain things that are lacking, right? Of course, we are behind in like in terms of policy development, enterprise adoption, like a company awareness and all of those areas. But we are working on them, right? There's multiple things being done from access side. There's multiple things that been done from Bitcoin Malaysia, from Ibrahim, from Blocklime, and all the industry players. Everybody is doing something about it and trying to fill in those gaps. But where it is why the reason why I feel Malaysia is much attractive, even for a lot of foreign companies at the moment, because we get all those calls, right? All those collaboration calls. A lot of people are looking in Malaysia in terms of expansion. Like most of us are in those discussions. Why Malaysia has a high attraction point is because of the community. It's because of the Malaysianness that we have over here, to be honest, right? Malaysians are like in a way they have the entrepreneur spirit. Like it might not come to you that like why, but if you look into what are the most active NFT ecosystems out there, Malaysia is among them. Most active
Hey,
mining
true.
ecosystems, Malaysia
True.
is
All the
among them,
clubhouse is Malaysian.
right?
You can find
Most active, even
Malaysians.
yeah, you find
Go ahead.
everywhere. I go Hong Kong, I find Malaysian. I go US,
Yeah.
I find Malaysian. I go into their crypto communities, I find Malaysians, right? And when I went there, and other people are promoting our ecosystem more than we thought of it, right? A lot of people they are from their view, we might be even 8 or 9. In our view, we are selling short ourselves to 3 or 4, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So that is where we are underestimating our abilities and what we have here today. Because if you
Yeah.
just evaluate, do we have the world class infra, right? We won't be as clean as Singapore. We might be lacking some of the fancy lights and everything that Singapore has at Marina Bay. But do we have the infra, right? We have it. Do we have a good internet compared to anybody in Southeast Asia? We have it. Do we have a good retail ecosystem? We have it, right? Do we have an educated population who can bring startups and bring them global? We have them, and we have them better than many of the big markets as well. We can go global.
Yeah.
Our entrepreneurs can go global. Do we have big, what they call global blockchain startups in Malaysia? They are proof that actually Malaysia is actually an attractive ecosystem. Where we are lacking is mainstream adoption. Where we are lacking is awareness on the enterprise side, and I think government play and policy play where we are lacking a bit, which we need to do some adjustment and some catch up, right?
I see. Ibrahim, you wanted to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My assessment or my rating just now is also based on my observation. Yeah.
Mm.
As uh, as long as 6 months ago until today, sorry, it's 8 months ago, and I noticed there is a lot of activities happening, either within the industry, whether even within the government sector, within the policymakers and regulators. So so we can see as short as 8 months, a lot of things has taken place. You know, even when I started developing this hub way back in 2019, it wasn't like this. I remember that when I first met Access Malaysia, there was only 4 founding members, yeah, who was trying to basically go around and promote the technology, promote the association. But today, I'm proud to see that Access Malaysia is prominent. You have people calling you, wanting to talk to you, wanting to be part of your ecosystem. And having said that, we notice on the government side, on the policymaker side, they are running activities, workshop to better understand about this industry and even developing potential policy to support. Even if you go out there and pick up some of the report that was announced recently in terms of digital Malaysia, in terms of national 4IR policy, you find the word blockchain everywhere in the document. So
True
that's
also.
why I feel that, you know,
True also.
that's
I'm
what I think.
reflecting also because the things that we tend to read on our media, on our social, maybe I'm biased because
Yeah,
I'm facing okay the kind of news that I read as well. But at the same time, um like for example, Malaysia did implement okay a very, how do I say, nationwide scale of blockchain implementation for the vaccine administration, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
and yet we don't read about those kind of news. Am I correct? Because they're just too busy, okay, implementing. Am I right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, grass always look greener on the other side, right? So we always think that they have it better, like some of our neighbors have it better until you actually go there, right? When you go there, you see those ecosystems, like you put yourself in those shoes and see, like, can I actually expand here, right? Do they have the right ecosystem for a blockchain hub to grow here, or like for basically the blockchain technology to grow here? We will notice that things are that are everybody has their own pro and cons. Nobody has won the game yet. That's why when I say that, like I often get this, like this argument that Singapore is doing it better, China is doing it better, right?
Okay.
Certain areas, yes, they have leapfrog, they have, like they got it better than us, right? In certain areas, we actually like have the upper hand, right? When we talk about community, we talk about crypto adoption, we talk about the right ecosystems, right? uh, in this case, there are certain upper hands that we have as well, right? In terms of regulation as well, even banks, right? Singaporeans had exchanges first, but they didn't have bank accounts. We had bank accounts immediately after our exchanges were given the approval, right? So we always thought that maybe Singapore is ahead for with having a proper regulation in with their dexes. Actually, we did it better. We did it earlier. We settled the whole dex regulation earlier. Even in terms of IEO, right? Singapore allowed everybody to come in there and set up a company and can do an ICO, yes, but then it also had its shortcomings as well. Many companies that actually raise ICOs in Singapore did face their problems and the challenges as well. Malaysia didn't allow it, but now we have a regulated IU ecosystem that are coming in. That is just the policy side. But how many of Malaysian startups actually managed to go global, right? If we looked into the chances, there actually a number of them that went up. Even some of we usually always go up and say that okay, maybe even say that China is doing really good. How many of Chinese startups are successful outside of China, right? How many of them you can use here right now? So that's why I say it's not as simple as just thinking that like they have like that anybody has won the blockchain hub game. Nobody have won it yet. That's why there's a struggle. That's why there's a fight. That's why there's a push. If somebody has won it, there's no reason fighting it. We just go to their blockchain hub and basically build our ecosystems there, right, and
Okay.
expand it. Yeah.
Okay. So
Hmm.
what's your rating? Attractiveness out of
You
10.
want you want me to put a number on it?
I
So
want to put a number on it.
I think seven.
7.
Seven at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 6 and 7. Okay. So what you're saying, okay, is that Malaysia is an attractive, okay, place. Okay, is attractive, is position, okay,
Hmm.
to be a blockchain hub, right? Uh, the next question is, okay, then, so is it a question of just basically marketing then? Marketing. Is it a question of marketing? What needs to happen?
Marketing, awareness, education, we need to build, and at the same time we need to have more communication. One, I
Oh,
think, is
Yeah.
definitely like in terms of marketing, we Malaysia don't sell itself like out there as a place for innovation, right? You go out, you see Singapore, you see Dubai, you see China, every single conferences positioning themselves, buying in the best booths, trying to sell themselves. Very hardly you will see a Malaysian booth. I'm not telling that it's not being done. It's being done. I've seen it in
okay.
Indonesia. I've seen it in many countries. MDEC has its own initiatives to attract companies to come into Malaysia. But we are never positioned ourselves, and we never position our startups, on these platforms. We always has this is something I feel that I have observed. We always value the additional opinions and the additional people's opinion always in these discussions compared to our own talent, right? We never showcase Malaysian talents in conferences. We always tends to bring outside conferences, outside startups, outside ecosystems to come in and share with Malaysians on how can they build their startups, right? But who have done successfully here in Malaysia? Not many of them been highlighted. Not many of them actually even know. and these guys are too busy building their products. They are not really focused on going and promoting themselves as well, because they're already
Yeah,
making money.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Ibrahim, you
I
want to
think
say something?
yes, I think that's why I think the main objective of this Malaysia Blockchain Month is purely looking at how we can showcase our champions, right? Apart from us promoting, creating awareness, I think the main agenda behind this is we want to showcase our ecosystem. We want to showcase our players. Even you showed the agenda or the programs for the
Mm,
whole of Malaysia
mm,
Blockchain Month.
mm.
Ignite is the finale of it, right?
Yep.
And I consciously, as a main organizer for Ignite, uh, impressed on the fact that we are doing this for Malaysia. Hence, we must first of all prioritize Malaysian company to be the voice, to be the speakers, to be the panelists of the conference. Because
Okay.
the end goal is to show the world, the region, that these are our ecosystem. We have all these players from the talent side, from the policy side, from the they call it investment side, even from specific technology side that are already thriving in Malaysia. So that it is important, like what Harpreet said, we need to shout louder. Yeah, we need to
Okay.
at least promote ourselves more.
Okay. So Ibrahim, maybe can you just tell us briefly, verbalize, okay, about the initiative, okay, that IIB Ventures is doing in building a blockchain hub in Johor for the audience? Just a very short one.
Sure, sure. If I may share a slide, yeah, just to give you some visual representation of how we are building this hub in Johor. Just check, yeah. Windows. Okay. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right. Uh, this is something that just to showcase our location, Medini. Medini, this is where we are. This blockchain village at Medini. The locations are located. Medini Iskandar Putri. It is uh, recognized as one of the location that we want to create an ecosystem. We want to create a strategic development to support uh, strategic initiative, for example,
Mm.
blockchain. Yeah. Well, in a nutshell, when we first started this blockchain village at Medini, it was actually
Before the
to
pandemic.
promote, yeah, before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Before the pandemic was way back in 2019, not long time ago, which is the
It
end goal,
feels like
like
a
you
long
said.
time ago.
It feel like, yeah, it feels like many years ago. So it was essentially to create the necessary ecosystem. At that point of time, there was no ecosystem. There was no dedicated program looking into developing a dedicated hub for blockchain in Malaysia. So we decided that maybe we need this. So that's how blockchain village came about. Yeah. So it's about ecosystem development.
Mm.
And just wanted to share some quotes, especially the one at the bottom. It takes two to tango, three to make soap opera, and 50 to create blockchain village at Medini. Why 50? This is why. When we started looking into the idea of establishing this village, we spoke, we engaged, we syndicated with 50 different type of organization, because the idea was to build a village, to build an ecosystem. So you need to actually identify who are your potential members of this ecosystem. Obviously, to also tell them, share them the ideas and promote the initiative. So we spoke to people from the talent side, from the infra. We spoke to various federal and state agencies, government agencies. When we also spoke to the industry players, and we of course access blockchain Malaysia, access blockchain association was key to this, because we needed the industry support. And how we built this hub, we identified four key pillars in order for us to develop an ecosystem. So we specifically chose this pillar because we feel these pillars are important in the development of the hub. Because initially you mentioned, what is required to build a hub. So this is, we call it as our key ingredients. Talent is the main thing. Anything to do with technology, talent is key. You know,
Yes.
without talent, people won't come and invest. People won't even venture into the technology because you need people to basically do the development. You need people who can actually, what they call that, understand the technology and develop solution on it. Infra is also important to support the activities of the companies that are doing this technology development. Is key. Like what Harpreet say, we have the right infra, we should be promoting it. We have the right talent. Our talents are global. You can find Malaysian anywhere you go. You go
Mm,
Hong Kong, you go Singapore, you go anywhere you can. So our talent are very marketable. Promotion, like you said just now, we're not promoting enough. So this is part of our initiative and the promotion, which is to actually participate in this kind of session and talk more about what is happening on the ground, right? Policy is also fundamental because without policy, you won't be able to provide a conducive environment for the company to thrive. So it is our responsibility as an industry player to engage the policymaker
right.
because they need to know what is required. We cannot just leave it up to them to figure it out. I think for this kind of industry, it is our responsibility to make sure that it is aligned to what the industry wants. So policies last, and of course, we are doing it in collaboration mode. We are working in you know, in a collaboration mode where as a Malaysian we work together. This is one spirit that I see everywhere I go for the last 2 years. You know, everybody want to make it work. Whether you are from different organization, whether you are from the university, everybody is looking at how can we work together and make this work.
That's right.
So this is basically a description about our initiative and what we feel is important for us to build this ecosystem.
Thank you. Thank you, Ibrahim. I got two takeaways from this. Okay. The first takeaway that I got is that it's all about, in order to make Malaysia a hub, okay, for blockchain, it is all about coordination. It is all about coordinating, okay, and what we can see from what IIBV is doing is basically coordinating, communicating, connecting all, okay, the different pillars, okay, together, the universities, okay, in order to output, okay, the talent, all right, the stakeholders in order to identify the use cases, uh, the technology providers, the service. Now, and the second takeaway that I also got is what we both of you mentioned earlier, which is that a hub does not necessarily need to be a physical place, because you could see all the different components here. They're all connected, okay? But even during the pandemic era, we can still be connected, okay? And we still can get things done. So the third thing, okay, that however I did notice, right, that is missing so far is media. I think that ingredient, okay, is missing. What do you think, okay, uh, the media, what role do you think the media can play to make Malaysia an attractive hub? Is because I noticed that the media is absent, okay, from this this
Should should I
thing.
take it?
Yeah,
Okay, so I think one of the issue is that I think the one of the problem is this area is so excluded, right? We what happened in Malaysia, especially, we actually got the ecosystem of the whole blockchain, the industry, the experts, and everybody is so busy with their own ecosystem. They never actually, not a lot of us managed to talk to the media. We don't have the right channels with the media to communicate, and I think media also are not taking the right opinions, lah. If you go up
Yeah,
and see, sometimes there's a mining issue, but none of the mining person is giving a code. You'll get some other association leader from some, like e-commerce, or like some other technology kind of association leader giving comments, right? That's one thing where you get misinformation. Then you have like no domain experts who actually are working together, like in outputting content for this media. And then education from the media side is lacking. They are more putting up sensational news that sell than education purpose. So I
yeah,
have to, I would like to, like give a bit of experience that I had in Indonesia compared to here, right? We have to see what has been done right outside, right? If you see like what has been done right in Indonesia, they work closely with industry experts. They work closely with associations. They work closely with known, members of the community, even some of those regulators, and they bring them up for discussions, right? They bring them up for discussion sessions, for panel sessions, which are hosted by those media channels. And there might be some business segment, there might be some technology segment, there might be some something related to cryptocurrencies, and they bring in the industry experts, and they try to put out the right information, and they also accredit, they basically make sure that the media, the content that is being put in out is credible. But in Malaysia, there are very few of them who does that. There are very few media houses that actually plan to do that. Often, many of the media houses, they will see one person take the news, everybody else copy it and reword it, right? There's no creation. There is just copy paste. If the source is wrong, everybody is wrong. Everybody is spreading another set of misinformation. So that is the problem with Malaysian media. We, one, lack the originality. Number two, we lack going on and sourcing for the actual answers and verifying the information, right? So that's my perspective on media.
Yes.
What's the solution? Yeah. Okay, because just only, I mean, like, if we look in crypto, in blockchain, news, okay, move really, really fast. I mean, like, just in the last 7 days alone, okay, there was, one, okay, about Berita Harian, I think, okay, that say Lombong Syndicate, okay, Bitcoin, okay, what not, right? Then when I read the article, it's about because of loss of electricity revenue. Okay, these people are stealing electricity. It was like very angry. And then we had like Vulcan Post. Okay, they recently took down an article that was very controversial. Don't need to go into that, but that's what happened. So what's the solution?
I think the solution is Ibrahim.
Ibrahim.
Sorry. Well, we as industry players, we have to take it up on ourselves to educate. I think we can't blame the media because obviously, like Harpreet say, they read is based on perspective, right? They read the news based on their perspective. So I think it's our responsibility to correct those perspectives. I think we should make a conscious effort to have more engagement with media to basically educate them, because what they pick up out there is mostly the sensational news. Yeah, it's about mining, it's about stealing electricity, it's about illegal mining, it's about crypto, what they call it, currency, it's about the scam. All those things are taking the mainstream media. So I think it is our responsibility as a industry practitioner to actually have a session with them and engage them.
I have a totally different view on this, right? I mean, Ibrahim is being nice, but I think this is media guys are totally lazy, to be my perspective, right? If you want it, that's my honest opinion, right?
That's Harpreet for your info.
No, I mean, if you are a journalist, right, the best practice in a journalism is to check your facts, right? What are you trying to report on? If you're telling me that you're a journalist who do not know how to do fact checking, who do not know how to, check if your source is credible, and do not know how to verify that information, then you're a bad journalist, right? You should quit your job and stop spreading misinformation in the market, right? If you want a good, healthy media that actually can bring up right topics, because I'm not telling that you cannot talk about the bad points of the blockchain industry. Talk about it, right? No problem. We want to know what is the good elements of the technology of the industry. We also want to know the bad parts of the industry, but we don't want the wrong information of the industry, right? The wrong perceptions of the industry. The problem today is media is not helping, right? You go up and you put up the wrong perceptions of the industry, then how, and at the same time, because there's a wrong perception, there's there's a sense of some sort of a negative reflection towards how the industry is growing. It kind of reflects back. Then people don't want to come in. They have a bit of a sticky situation there, where a lot of the regulators feel worried to start these kind of projects. Companies that have fear starting these kind of projects, right? A lot of people, if you go in even in a normal blockchain discussion, we won't get a lot of discussion because our community is well educated, right? A lot of people who come to our talks, they are well educated, they have been following us for years, they keep on with a lot of this situation. But you go to some general blockchain discussions or some general forums, people are so much misinformed. They don't even know that crypto is legal or not legal, Bitcoin is legal or not legal, can I buy or cannot buy, will I get arrested, right? Because of all that misinformation that happens out there. And in this case, I think if in my perspective, we
Yes.
would like what Ibrahim has suggested to have those dialogues with media. But when we invite media, we tried that. They don't come, right? They only come if you get paid or you pay them as a, like a media partner company to come in over there, and you like pay them to write those articles. Then they will be willing to throw whatever rubbish you give them, right? For example, and a lot of these articles are also written by the companies that
Ah,
given to them.
very
It is
difficult.
it is a money game. It's not really journalism anymore, right? In this perspective, I will say media is a better money game than compared to a lot of crypto right now outside in the market. So that's my sentiment on it. They can take it. They can even quote me on that. No problem.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Right. So clearly a lot of challenges in this segment. Okay. Number one, we're talking about journalist integrity here. Okay, the quality of journalism, right? That's the one thing. But the second thing is the engagement bit, right? Whew, not easy, yeah. Okay, so the takeaway, okay, for those listening in, right? In terms of digital adoption, in terms of digital asset adoption, in terms of making Malaysia, okay, capture more, you know, to grow the industry, it does not happen in a snap. It happens in a curve. We just need to, you know, solve one thing at a time. One thing at a time. All right. So we have about like 10 more minutes left. Okay. I would like to change, okay, a little bit on education bit. All right. So education also is a very important arm, right? What role do you think, okay, the universities have played, okay, to help increase the suppliers of blockchain talent in Malaysia? Ibrahim, because you know that you are connected, to this network, this initiative, can you share with us, okay, like some of uh the 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 progress that has been made by universities that you know of?
Okay, when we first started this, we realized that blockchain is not being taught at the universities, right? But having said that, uh, the universities realize that they realize there's always a gap between what the students are learning and what the industry is looking at. So they started being more open towards working with emerging technology companies, because before that they are so used to working with manufacturing, with electronic industry, but not so much on blockchain, not so much on other new technologies like AI or even IoT. But how we manage to bridge the gap is we basically bring industry players to talk directly with the universities, and having said that, to also help the university to take on board the new talent and give them the right kind of exposure, and to actually teach the new talent about blockchain technology. So on that side, I can see that universities are more proactive now on embracing new technology and more proactive in exposing their students to work directly with the university, because they see that it will take a while for them to actually provide those knowledge. So they said, let the industry help them and let the students join the industry. Another thing which I realized, that some universities have already taken initiative to incorporate blockchain knowledge into their syllabus. There are a few, like for example in Johor side, even in Klang Valley, also in the northern side, they have slowly, introducing blockchain as part of the syllabus. So I can see the movement on that side.
Okay. Harpreet, on Access Malaysia side as well. Okay. I think there were some developments that being done right on education. universities, clubs and stuff like that? Can you
Sure.
share?
Yeah, so from access side, we have a different approach, right? So in terms of, because prior from with my experience, we actually try to work with multiple universities to actually to educate, to educate a lot of this, well, how to develop in using blockchain, how to basically go up and uh, basically how to educate blockchain developers, educate like blockchain accountants, blockchain lawyers, and all of those. Right, we were like looking into many different areas, but we noticed there was a huge gap, and there was a huge speed gap as well. Right, if there's just a gap on an industry that is stagnant, then it's okay. But the industry is moving faster pace than the universities are catching up. Right,
Betul.
so there's always going to be a gap in that phase, right? It's either you change the speed, where like on how universities can go up and create content and create new courses and create new like education material, or you basically change the approach. The approach on the exercise, what we want to do is like how in universities and in schools, you actually have clubs, where you have clubs that actually go up. You can go up and join based on your interests, and you can actually go up and like join, let's say, AI club or robotic clubs, and then you can learn about more about robotics. And then basically the relevant parties, let's say it's a robotic company or it's a robotic association, they can give them support, they can give them access, they can give them education, and they can provide them with all those necessary like a material for them to grow into becoming a robotic engineer. Same way like that, we noticed that maybe that approach will be a better way to get access to interested parties who would want to become like a good talent in the space, and who would want to actually participate in the blockchain ecosystem. So that is an approach that Access has took. So we actually did our pilot blockchain club at APU. So we set up the first pilot there, and we would soon like to work with more partners. Ibrahim will be definitely one of them, to replicate this model with throughout BVM's partners in Johor. So we can at least get, so we can quickly roll out more blockchain clubs across Malaysia and the Malaysian university ecosystem. But besides that, I think there's one more thing that we should focus on, is
Mm.
putting out content, right? If you're looking and you're waiting for universities to go up and build those courses and educate, all the
Ah,
population, is not going to happen. I think that's where developer contents and maybe some sort of an developer portals is something that we should focus on next. Maybe Ibrahim, on your side as well. If, let's say, I think the next initiative should not just focus on pushing in universities and educating people, but build developer portals where people can go and learn how to do Ethereum development, Solidity, and bring in all the other protocol partners from around the world. Tell them to come in and do like long courses, where any students who's interested to get into the industry, we just give them those courses. We try to sponsor as many we can do that, and give them the exposure needed.
I think that there is like so much. Yes, that sounds like a fantastic idea, because that because also at the rate, okay, that the industry is growing. Um, there's a transfer of resources, okay, into all these, to the industry, and they are looking for good, talented people to basically build. Like, there's resources is one area which is like there's abundant. It's just that it needs is what's the word? Consumer and suppliers. All right. Okay. So uh it right now we need more suppliers. Okay, because the consumer side, okay, they're hungry for the products. They have tasted the products, they want more products. Um, but there needs to be like more, how do I say, smart contract auditors, for example. Okay. Because as the technology, okay, as people continue to adopt the hunger, okay, for, okay, more products, gets them excited. But then on the other side is, okay, your idea is great, right? But have you done this? Have you done that? Have you checked all this thing? Right? These kinds of things, I think, are excellent opportunities for those who are listening in right now, right, to take advantage of. Uh, in order to overcome this current very turbulent period. The blockchain industry is the industry that can offer those opportunities.
Yeah. So far, the reason why the talent development has always slowed down, like there was a slow development in the blockchain talent ecosystem. One is, of course, we don't have the expertise available widely in Malaysia. We didn't have people who actually go out and train the next generation of blockchain developers. There are not many around in Malaysia. So that is one challenge. Another challenge is a lot of institutions, even government institutions, are waiting for to solve the chicken and egg problem, where they
Or
say that
chicken
there's
and
no
egg.
the demand and the supply issue. So they say that industry is not hiring, so we are not going to produce talent, right? So when now at this moment where industry you can go up every day and find blockchain jobs, which are like sitting there for like months, nobody is
Mm,
picking them up. Then it means there's the reason why nobody wants to open up hiring jobs here, even in Malaysia, is because we know there's none, right? It's not a chicken and egg problem. You need to just supply as much eggs as you can right now, right? Supply as much talent as you can in the market. If you want to win this strategy, you want to win this game, you have to go the Microsoft way of just focusing developers, 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 and just go up and mint out as many talent you can in this space. Because giving them a new set of skill is it's not going to be something losing to them, right? It's talent is not losing out. We're not giving. I won't tell them to go and do a separate specialization, but give them a new certificate, right? A certificate in big data, certificate in blockchain. So at least they have the basic fundamentals and they can go up and join. And the getting started in a company is much easier, right?
right.
And I think I agree with somebody who's actually pushing what they call suggesting the idea of DevCon in Malaysia. We definitely need not only DevCons, more types of like more kind of developer events. We are full with hackathons every year. So many different people are doing hackathons, but there's no DevCon. There's no discussion of the of technical skills, of technical skill development, of like there's no proper like a lot of technology symposiums that happen in Malaysia. The 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 nerd stuff doesn't happen in the country, so it doesn't attract more nerds to come in this country. It doesn't attract more like information sharing. It is just competition after competition, which is the same batch of hackathon winners are attending it all the time, and it's kind of like the same cycle keep on repeating. If you want to break that cycle, we need to think it from a different perspective. I think do DevCons, do developer symposiums, bring in more like content which is more catered towards educating the local skill forces, and just focus on developing as many talent you can in the space right now. If you have those funds, go up and train. Let's say if you can train 10,000 developers, right? Put it in the ecosystem in
Mm,
Malaysia. I think at
mm.
least the local market can consume at least 5 to 6,000 of them in the next few years' time. Ibrahim Sec
Okay.
itself has a target of
Yeah.
1,200,
Yeah.
right?
Let me show a bit of what we are doing on the talent side. I think how we are trying to expedite the whole process. Yeah. If I may share our latest product on the talent development,
Sure,
just to show
please.
that this is how we are trying to help the industry by creating new what do you call it?
Right. Do you
New
want to share your
talent.
screen for this?
Yeah, I'm going to do it now.
Okay.
Okay.
By the way, okay, we only have 10 minutes left. Okay, so
Okay.
just want to just keep on time.
Okay. You can see this, right? So this is our own dedicated program called JDET. It stands for Johor Digital and Emerging Technology Talent. It is actually an upskilling and reskilling program targeted at creation of high value jobs in the digital and emerging sector. So we have our own four pillars as well. We look at demand, and blockchain being one of them. We look at talent. We look at our delivery partners, who are our trainers, the content provider, and we're looking at funding partners who can actually fund this program. So as a result of that, we have a program called My Step. This is where uh, IIBV as a company will do the hiring. We will find companies that wants to take these people on board,
Right.
and two of them are actually a blockchain companies, which is SiteNets and Holistic Lab. And we also provide training, and all this cost is covered by us and based on the funding that we receive from Kazana. So this is what we call it My Step program, which is funded by Kazana. So we go out there and find the demand side. In this case, you can see there the demand that we discover is in the artificial intelligence, robotic, blockchain, e-commerce, drone. and business support services. So we look at the demand, we go and look for the talent, and the talent is chosen by the respective companies. So once the talent is chosen, we will hire on behalf of the company. We will pay for the salary, we will pay for their mobility allowance, we will also pay for the training. So that take away some of the burden or risk from some of this company, and actually encourage the company to take the risk and hire these people and give them a 5 months on the job training.
Mm.
And this has been we just launched this on 11th of August, and companies are coming, and now, because at the moment there's a lot of people who are looking for a job, so in a way
Yeah.
we're also helping to create employment. So these are some of the things that we're trying to do in order to expedite, like you said just now, we need to speed up. So one way of doing this is go out there, look for the talent, go out there, look for the demand, and try to match the demand of the talent, and provide them that training, because you need to close the gap, the training that they need, because obviously when they left the university, these are not taught to them. So we have no choice but to retrain, to upskill them. And that also shouldn't be the responsibility of the industry, because the industry expect people to join them on day one and automatically are able to be productive. So we take away that risk from them. We say, okay, never mind, we pay, but you just need to give them the on-the-job training. So these are some of the things that we do on our side to help develop the talent.
Thank you very much. I think that this makes a very good segue. And one of the big takeaways that I got is that we just need to focus on keep on developing talent. Okay, in Malaysia, develop talent, develop talent, develop talent, because these are the skills. Okay, in fact, I really personally I wanted to learn solidity, but just not talented in it. All right. Um, and but I can see the amount of possibilities once you learn the skill. Okay, you just imagine it, can actually create it, right? And these are the skills of the future. So there's no I don't see any loss there. We have one question coming in, okay, from the audience, right? Which is like, we develop all these talent, okay, and but do you agree that very often when people get hired to do blockchain jobs, they end up making money game products? How do we solve that problem? Harpreet?
I mean, here comes in towards the industry's demand, right? So in this case, when I talk about money game products, because there's a lot of blockchain developer roles that have been opened up as well, and we see some odd new companies that are picking them up and hiring them, and we know what these companies are developing as well. Often are just like trying to build something fast and like try to make a quick buck over there. But the even here, I think there's few responsibilities. One is the talent itself to vet the company, right? They have to check, like like in which like when if like anybody is giving me a job offer, I want to know about that company, right? I got multiple job offers, like when I was leaving my previous employment as well, but I just found most of them shady. The reason why, when I looked into it, most of them were building a money game, right? Everybody was trying to be rich, and they say we can make you rich as well, right? That was the mindset and the approach of most of these guys, because they just needed somebody who had those skills to come in and take a lead. Same thing will happen to any blockchain developer who's trying to leave here, and most of them will also be poached. People will go up and they'll try to put you out and try to give you better salaries, because they know that with those skills and with those products in the market, they're able to get into the market fast and raise money fast, and put a product there fast, and a lot of times they can even rug pull and exit, they will still be in profit, right?
Right.
So there have to be one, I think, the job in terms of the talent side, to be aware of what is happening in the market that is trying to find employment in, right? In this case, if you're in the AI industry, you need to know what's happening in AI. If you're in the blockchain industry, you need to know what like what's happening in the blockchain industry, which are the companies. Another form is, of course, you have to see the credibility of those companies as well that you're
Got it.
joining in, right? Right. So a lot of times they a lot of these companies, if you know that they're not very credible, you don't want to be part of it. So money games, that's one thing, but I think there's one more part that I should like highlight on as well, is of course talent how much talent is being developed in these money game companies, right? a lot of these money game companies is actually helping us with one thing. They are pumping in more solidities developers in the market. Honestly speaking, right? I have actually worked with developers who used to work for some money games. They didn't like what they were doing there. They exited. They had a
But they
huge
have something to
stress.
do.
They learned what was the industry all about, and then they actually decided to follow their passion to build something that's more valuable. They decided to join other companies, join some of the reputable companies here in Malaysia as well. They basically manage the money game companies, actually prove that how prove them why they shouldn't be doing a money game or why they should not be there, right? One thing. And why money game companies can hire fast is because they are willing to invest in their talent, right? They're willing to hire people fast, give them good salaries, and put them under a training, and basically so they can develop product. But when it comes to our mainstream industry, who has way more liquidity, more money, better business, but more stable, they're not willing to do that. They're not willing to take risk on talents.
I really wish that we had more time, okay, because that's the thing, I would love, okay, like for example, we hear like Air Asia, wanting, to basically kind of like digital currency as well, okay, that kind of initiative, issue a token, a loyalty token, or etc. I would really like, okay, now that, we are in the building phase, I know that we are in a semi-bull market, but still
Mm.
we're not really there yet, it's still relatively quiet. But I would like, okay, to actually hear more, of the well-known, okay, traditional leaders, okay, to actually push on this technology, but I'm not hearing that.
Yeah, even if you say just talk about AirAsia, right? There are multiple job openings of blockchain developers for the past 2 years. I'm seeing there's always there, but how many times did AirAsia try to do trainings? Right? They have their own training company to look into doing blockchain trainings. Right? They can do that. They can put in blockchain trainings. They can train more developers, and they can hire people from there, or they can do something like what Ibrahim is doing, right? Basically, get talents, under such programs, and basically to try to develop the pool. The issue is we're not investing into growing the talent here in Malaysia. We're not investing in terms of educating people. And plus, we always think talent is another object in the market, right? Like something that we just need and we need to see what is the ROI of it. I think it's that we cannot see talent from that perspective. We have to see talent from a perspective that somebody you have to bring in, you have to nurture, you have to put it part of the team. And if it's happy, it's going to stick with it, right? In this case, a lot of people think, no, if I'm spending so much on this talent, what if he leave in 3 months' time, right? What if he leaves in 4 months' time? I'm going to be losing this much of
Yeah,
money on
there's a
this
lot
particular
as well.
talent. And in this case, when that happens, they often say that we cannot find experienced people. There's always a rush for finding experienced talents in the market. Nobody wants to take a risk on less experienced or non-experienced people in the market, right? And in that case, then we always compete where Malaysia has no talent. Why? Because nobody is building it. Where you have universities, what they call exiting those talents on quite outdated syllabus, and the market is way much ahead. And to catch up with the market, nobody is giving them the middle ground. So I wish that we have more BVAM. I even talked to Ibrahim multiple times trying to convince him to bring something in KL, because I'm very much in love with the mama nearby my house and I don't want to go away from it. So I'm trying to convince him to please do something in KL as well. Maybe bring some of your programs here. So in this case, we can actually do more talent activities here. But I definitely would love the idea for Access to support him to go in and do more stuff in JB as well. So we will continue with our efforts. We will continue building what we are doing. We would definitely need the support of the industry, the community, the ecosystem, the government as much as we can. And we would like some of these roles eventually be taken over by people who we pay tax to, right? Especially governments and everybody, right? So they should be the one who will be taking these necessary activities, and they should be the one promoting this. But because we don't have it, the industry can do the efforts as long as we can. But over time, I think government have to take this role. They have to play this role.
All right, thank you so much. We have covered a lot today. The takeaways are Malaysia is an attractive, okay, destination to be a blockchain hub. We have all the stories, okay, all the benefits, okay, the of what other neighboring countries, okay, we have the edge, right? We just need to do a lot more, okay, in terms of marketing, in terms of education, just build the talent, right? And there are many opportunities. Okay, there are many initiatives. Some are done by Ibrahim. Okay, at IIBV. Right, it's all about coordination, getting connected. Okay, and we also need to improve. Engaging with the media and also that challenge there on journalistic integrity. All in all, in summary, it is not easy. To get to where we are today is not easy to get to where we want to be. Right, everybody. Is to continue to learn and to adopt, to be critical, be active and be participative in the industry. I wish, all the best, with your initiatives, IIBV. Thank you so much, to Harpreet and Ibrahim for joining us today. Um, Also, one question, that people have been asking, is where can we learn more about, the kind of initiatives? There is actually one that is actually happening right now. You can register for it. Is the virtual drone tech and blockchain bootcamp that is happening on September 20th. Why is it that the text is not there? But the QR code works. Is on September 20th. Now, these tickets, for the first workshop have already been sold out. So if you want to register for this, scan the QR code, and register for it now. Also, what you can also do is that you can register for the 2-day conference that is on week number 6 of Ignite. Early birds get free tickets for now. So act fast, scan the QR code, and register for the 2-day conference today. And then let's meet back here tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be joined by Mastura Ishak from Might, Artali from the FinTech Association of Malaysia, and Renee Bernard, who is one of the founding members of Access Blockchain Association, to actually understand the role of associations in growing the blockchain industry to cap off Malaysia Blockchain Week. My name is Jason. I'm the Vice President for Access Blockchain Association Malaysia, and it's my pleasure, to run another session for you today. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you, Jason.